Hey y'all.
Hiyo.
Hey Facebook, Twitter, Instagram people, YouTube, I don't know, everything. So we wanted to talk to y'all today about love languages. I actually wanted to talk to Rachel about love languages. I was inspired last night. I was talking to one of my friends and I thought, oh, we definitely need to talk about that. So we decided to record this conversation for you guys.
You're welcome.
Right. So in case you're not familiar, Love Languages is a name, I don't know if it's the name of the book, but
The Five Love
The
Languages.
Five Love Languages by Gary Chapman. Shout out to him.
Shout out.
And you should read it. You should take the quiz and figure out what your love languages are.
You can go to the website. You can go online, take the quiz.
Yeah. I encourage you, if you have a partner, especially really just a friend, romantic partner, anybody who's in your life, they have a good idea to know their love languages.
They have a kids quiz, so it's a little different than the adult quiz, and you can understand a child's love languages, which is awesome for parenting and coaching.
The teen one. So there are 5, as the book title says, and they are physical touch, gifts, words of affirmation, acts of service, and quality time.
Nailed it.
I think it's important when you're talking about your love languages to realize that the way that you love others might be different than the way you receive love.
Facts.
Right?
Super important to know.
Yeah. And I guess to that point, the way I love certain people could change. Like, I might use one language more with one group.
Yeah, especially, yes. I think that we have probably a natural inclination to receive love certain ways. And when you take the quiz, it gives you a number. So I've seen people that, I have a friend that her numbers are all pretty even. So she received love in all those ways.
Yeah.
And then I have people that are like a 0 in like 3 things, and they only want it in these other 2 ways.
Yeah.
So you have like a natural inclination to understand love in a certain form. And then there isn't a quiz, and I kind of wish there was. Gary Chapman, we should talk about this. To understand how you give love.
Yes.
Because it can be so different. For me, it is somewhat the same, but is also very different.
Yeah.
And so I think when you change how you give love, it's due to the fact that you're probably honoring somebody's way of receiving love, which is a really good idea, and why we suggest somebody you might be wanting to know how to love better should take the quiz, and you should listen to what they learn. Yeah. So you can better communicate your love with them in a way that they can understand it.
So I definitely realized what my love languages are.
What are they?
They are quality time and words of affirmation. Those are like my top 2.
In that order.
That is like how I prefer to receive love. I think if I had to put them all in order, it would be those 2, and then maybe acts of service. Then physical touch, acts of service, and gifts. But quality time for me is like, oh, you really do love me. If we like do stuff together, if we both make time for each other, that feels like love to me.
Yeah. Mine are physical. I like to receive love in physical touch and affirmation, top 2. And mine are pretty even, except gifts is very low for me. Yeah. And then it'd be quality time, acts of service. Yeah. I give love very much through acts of service. Also, I had a ton of guilt and shame around affirmation being one of my love languages.
Really?
I did for quite some time. I thought that was super weak and shallow of me, that I needed to hear about myself or the love somebody had for me, that verbally they needed to tell me for me to register it, because I felt like that was simple.
There's like a lot of shame around. I could see that, because I think there's a lot of shame that we build in our society around, like, people should show you they love you. And so everything should be like they like look at their actions versus their words, and it's like no, there needs to be a little bit of both. Like
and for me, I can. Well, what I started to learn is that I didn't need to be told I was pretty. Right? Like, it wasn't like I needed somebody to be like, you're so pretty and you're okay, and like build me up because I was unsure. It wasn't, which is how I was perceiving it. Like, oh my gosh, I'm insecure and I need people to tell me I'm wonderful in order to be okay. That's so terrible. I've worked so hard on not being insecure. Not what this is. I like when people say what's on their mind. If I walk in the door and somebody's like, damn, I want you to say that.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be like in your head like, damn, but I'm not gonna tell her because XYZ, or I'm embarrassed, or she probably doesn't need to hear it, or whatever.
Right.
I do need to hear it because I want to know like what you think of me. I want not because I don't think that, because I probably put that outfit on and walked through that door feeling like, damn. But it's nice to know somebody else sees you, notices you, and then in the moment that they're thinking it, they share it. So that is actually one of the ways that the way I communicate my love and receive love is similar, because if I think something about you, I am telling you.
Yeah, I think I do that too. In terms of, so I said how I receive it. The way I show it, definitely words of affirmation. I mean, it's some of the same things that it makes sense that the way that you receive it is how you might be more inclined to show it, because that's how you are hardwired, to believe that you're like loving. So,
and we project, right? We're a mirror.
Yeah. So. But I think that I think I'm pretty versatile, but words of affirmation is like important to me. Like it's important to name things. Like you say, words matter.
Words matter a lot to me.
So I am like very inclined to like tell you. I think it's also my like familiarity with being vulnerable. And I think for me, words of affirmation represents like being truly vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like I am being honest with you and telling you what I think of you and uplifting you, and like that's like part of where it comes from for me, is like just be vulnerable and put it out there.
Yeah, and I like bubble over. I don't like if I have a feeling about somebody and I'm like this with my friends a lot. I'm like this with my family. When I have to tell you something, when my love for you is like swelling up in me, I have to tell you. Yeah. Like you've got to know. I've been accused of saying I love you too much, or being too mushy with my friends, or like telling them too frequently how important they are, because they're like, wow, we talk about this a lot. And I'm like, yeah, but I feel it all the time. And when I see you, I'm like, oh, that's my friend. Like I love her. Yes. I need her to know. Like I gotta tell her. And
I'm the same way.
So
I get giddy about my friends.
I have to get it out of there. And sometimes I'll do it like in a gift. I'll write a card. Like I try to be versatile because I want it to land with impact every time I share it. Yeah. And I think if all I ever do is like say it, then it does start to lose its pizzazz a little bit. So, I mean, I have to believe that, I'm sure my friends are going to be out there listening, that they would be nodding their head like, yes, Rachel,
I am
absolutely
nodding.
Is
emphatically.
Like, I get random text messages, or I get when we leave each other, I just tell you that I'm super appreciative. Or so
same. I do the same. I think it's important. That's so cool. Yeah. I think it's important. Like we wanted to have this conversation with you guys today because it is important, an important part of getting to know who you are, to know what your love languages are, like both how you receive and how you give love. But it's also important to be curious about what other people's love languages are, so that you're not just projecting what you have defined as love, but you're also like honoring what they define as love. And maybe, like if you're not comfortable being balanced, maybe there's something that needs some healing, like, or needs some more, exploration on your part. So,
and I would also just kind of finish with, it should be a judgment free. No one of the five is better than the other. Right. And so if it's not your way, that's okay. But you need to allow people to receive and understand love how they do. And and no one is more respectful or reasonable or healthy than another. All of the forms are fair, healthy, good.
It's all love.
Just different.
We teach love, y'all.
That's what we do.
All right.